You'd be forgiven for saying that health and safety e-learning is rubbish and face-to-face health and safety training is definitely far, far better. And you know what? My entire career, I have completely agreed with that. I think I have only booked e-learning once for people in my organization. And yet, recently, I've kind of discovered or realized that face-to-face training really isn't all it's cracked up to be either. So here's a rundown of some of the problems that can go wrong. And I think in some situations, I'm not sure if it's a minority or more than half, I don't know, sometimes e-learning might actually be a better option. So the first thing that can go wrong is that the trainer who turns up is crap. Trainers vary in quality enormously, and I'm not saying that I'm the best health and safety trainer by any stretch of the imagination. I have hired some excellent trainers, and I've booked courses from some of the big course providers, and sometimes they've sent me a contractor or an associate that I didn't know, and they did a pretty terrible job. One time we booked them in to do some board of director training. It was a couple of hours, and the guy who turned up set our culture back 10 years, switched off all the directors. Another thing that can go wrong, number two, is that there's too much to take in too little time. See, health and safety training is as much about building habits and changing behaviors. It's not just about giving people information. First of all, in a 3-day course, there's just too much to take in too little time, so it all goes by in a bit of a blur. But then the next thing is that they go back to work, back into the real world, and they have that chance to practice those behaviors, practice the new skills. There's been no habit generation at all, and so in terms of real world changes, face-to-face training gives information, but it doesn't really give people habits and behaviors and so on. So that's one reason why it doesn't work. Another reason is that classroom trainers often teach people just to pass exams or tests. You'll get that on all the accredited courses. You need to know this for the test, you need to know that. But what they're actually saying is that we can skip over this really important bit. It's not in the test. It might be important for you when you do your job, but it's not in the test, so we're not going to go there. That happens a lot more than you think. So people might come out of the course knowing everything they need to know to pass the test, but half the course has just been skimmed over and hasn't received the same emphasis as the rest. Another problem, I think, what is this? Number 4 now. Tutors often teach to the lowest common denominator. If you've got people who are, I don't know, got poor communication skills, poor listening skills, low IQ, academically just not as quick as some of the other people, it means that they'll teach to the level of that person. And others on the course who are a bit faster, a bit more clued up, a bit more intelligent, can take it in a bit quicker, they're going to get really frustrated. They're going to feel that it's dumbed down, and they're not going to get everything they can get out of the course. What else can go wrong? Jesus. Group interaction. People often tell me that classroom training has more interaction, therefore it must be better. Well, I can tell you this, the interaction can be negative sometimes. You can get some right dickheads on that course who try to hijack it. Negative people who start to heckle the trainer and so on. So the interaction can be negative. And sometimes there is no group interaction. If the trainer doesn't work hard at bringing people out of their shell, you might find that there are only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people on the whole course who do the interaction, and everyone else just sits back and lets the others do the hard work for them. Whereas at least on an e-learning course, there might not be any interaction with a group, but you have to interact with the person, with the course itself. You have to do all the exercises by yourself. What else can go wrong? The trainer. If the trainer's in a hotel, some of them like to have a bit of a drink on a night, Some of them stay up late at night watching movies, they're away from the kids and the families, they stay up too late, they arrive the next day a little bit worse for wear. Trainers have personal issues, they get tired, they get ill, sometimes they get bored. They get so bored of the training for delivering the same thing over and over again. So they might turn up and lack the enthusiasm. At least with an e-learning course, at least it's consistent. It might be consistently bad, and they usually are. But if you find a really good one that's interactive and engaging and fun, there's humor and personality, then it's going to be consistently good every time. Last but not least, getting bums on seats on face-to-face training is so hard. Different people from different shifts. So hard to do. E-learning, they can dip in and out, log on when you bloody well like. It is so much easier. Anyway, enjoy your bank holiday.